In the bustling city of Brooksville, there lived a wealthy and powerful man named Mr. Harrison. He was the owner of a thriving tech company that had made him a fortune. Despite his success, Mr. Harrison had a reputation for being cold-hearted and unkind, especially towards his employees. Among the many workers in Mr. Harrison's company, there was a humble man named Charlie. Charlie came from a modest background and had been working diligently for Mr. Harrison for years. He toiled away in the shadows, often overlooked and mistreated by his wealthy boss. One gloomy Monday morning, as the raindrops tapped against the windows of the office building, Mr. Harrison stormed into the office in a foul mood. He had just lost a lucrative deal, and his frustration poured out onto the employees. "Charlie," he shouted, pointing his finger accusingly. "You're responsible for the failure of this deal. If you can't handle the pressure, maybe you should find another job." Charlie, with a downcast expression, mumbled an apology and continued with his work. The other employees exchanged sympathetic glances, well aware that Charlie was not to blame for the failed deal. It was just the rich boss finding a scapegoat for his own mistakes. Days turned into weeks, and Mr. Harrison's treatment of Charlie only worsened. He assigned him menial tasks, berated him in front of colleagues, and even cut his already meager salary. Charlie endured it all silently, clinging to the hope that his hard work would eventually pay off. One day, as the city celebrated its annual charity event, Mr. Harrison decided to make a grand entrance. Dressed in a tailored suit and accompanied by a group of wealthy friends, he flaunted his success in the faces of those less fortunate. Unbeknownst to Mr. Harrison, Charlie had been secretly volunteering at a local soup kitchen every evening after work. He believed in giving back, despite his own struggles. As Mr. Harrison strutted past the soup kitchen, he noticed Charlie serving meals to the homeless. A wicked grin spread across Mr. Harrison's face. He approached Charlie, surrounded by his affluent entourage. "Charlie, still playing the hero, I see," Mr. Harrison sneered. "How pathetic." Undeterred, Charlie simply nodded and continued serving meals. Little did Mr. Harrison know that this encounter would set off a chain of events that would change their lives forever. That night, as Mr. Harrison slept comfortably in his luxurious penthouse, he was jolted awake by a loud crash. Rushing to the window, he saw the city in chaos. A massive storm had flooded the streets, leaving many stranded and helpless. Panicking, Mr. Harrison realized he was trapped in his penthouse with no way to escape. Meanwhile, Charlie, who lived in a modest apartment on higher ground, had volunteered to help those affected by the storm. He was using his own boat to rescue people stranded in their flooded homes. As the water continued to rise, Mr. Harrison's arrogance turned to desperation. He remembered Charlie's small boat and the acts of kindness he had witnessed at the soup kitchen. In a twist of fate, Mr. Harrison found himself at the mercy of the very man he had mistreated for so long. Charlie, embodying true compassion, rescued Mr. Harrison and brought him to safety. The once proud and powerful boss now stood humbled and grateful before the man he had treated with disdain. In the aftermath of the storm, as the city came together to rebuild, Mr. Harrison underwent a profound transformation. He realized the importance of empathy, kindness, and humility. The experience taught him that wealth and power were fleeting, but the impact of one's actions on others endured. As for Charlie, he became a symbol of resilience and compassion in the community. The story of his selfless acts during the storm spread far and wide, inspiring others to embrace the values of generosity and empathy. In the end, it's not wealth or power that defines a person but the goodness of their heart and the impact they have on the lives of those around them.